Should get off to a hot start. That's the goal. Even starting the meetings a little bit earlier. That works. Ceiling 12-5, floor 7-10. Go ahead, Nick.
All right,
You're down.
I understand. I don't care about the score.
Well, then just coach, you go.
No, I'm going to give a good answer.
If you don't care.
I don't care about your silly scoring. I don't care about
if you don't want to play the game.
But I feel badly that I'm going floor 3 in a row, but I am. I think the floor is a likely outcome.
Likely?
Likely. Wow.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati winning 7 or 8 games is what I project to happen. Like, I think that they are going to have a very bad defense, not quite the offense they had last year, because one of the underrated stories, I think, of Bengals training camp has been, wait, is that offensive line even good? And the whole way for the team to function is Joe Burrow upright throwing lasers. It's August, what day is it? It's August 13th, and old TH still hasn't reported. I didn't say his name, don't end the segment. And I don't see any world where they win 12 games. In that division with that defense, I see no world where they win 12 games.
Well, this is going to be strange considering some of the stuff I've said earlier in the show.
Watch this.
And I don't think it's likely.
This guy.
Right now, I've got them as a playoff team. But I don't see 12 wins.
You have 11, though.
So I will, but that's not 12. I see floor. Not that I don't think it's going to happen.
Closer to?
I don't
But more
understand.
likely,
it's
not closer to, it's more
binary.
likely.
Yeah.
And here's why. And I know Nick all of a sudden isn't high on schedule projection.
I'm not saying that.
But this schedule is a monster.
Well, you never know.
Not only the division, but I mean, you got Minnesota, Denver, Detroit, Green Bay.
Skip Jacksonville.
Yeah, on purpose. Buffalo, that's a tough schedule. That's why I'm like 12 wins with that defense. Again, right now, I've got them projected as a playoff team, unofficially because it's not prediction week. But I could see it going south because here's the other thing. Burrow's only 38-30-1 in his career.
Wow.
Like, it's not like he's only won more than 10 games once, and that year they had a top 10 defense when they won the 12 games. So I think like 10, 11 wins is like what they can do with that defense. And so that's why I just say the
you
bottom
just think
could
12 is not
Yeah, I think
possible.
12 is really not possible. So
We know about the receivers. I really like Gesicki and Noah Fant for the tight ends. And with Chase Brown, he averages 4.3 yards a carry. The best way they can win is actually run the ball a little bit more and control the clock.
Wow. They just played the music and ushered Mangini off the stage like it was the Academy Awards or something right there. They must have went long or something. I've never seen that before. That's pretty funny. First off, when Nick Wright said about the O-line, that's like the big story. They had a terrible O-line last year. They had the worst O-line in the NFL last year. And Joe Burrow was unbelievable. Played out of his mind. And if T. Higgins played the whole season, then the Cincinnati Bengals clearly make the playoffs. They clearly win at least 2 more games, which would have been far from the floor, which would have been right at the ceiling. So I reject that completely. Now, I'm not going to lie. Watching the preseason games and seeing the defense and seeing the O-line, you're like, oh my God, what the heck is this? And listen, if there's injuries, if T. Higgins goes down again and Joe Burrow goes down, well then yeah. But I'm not trying to predict injuries at all. When I'm doing something like this, I'm looking at it as everyone's fully healthy. That's all I care about. It's like, are you healthy? Yes or no. Right? If Jamar Chase goes down, it's like, okay, season over. But yeah. I mean, it's hard to imagine that this defense will be as bad as it was last year because it was exceptionally bad. And I think it's way more likely that this offense continues to be great because why wouldn't it be? This offense wasn't hung on some fragile, it wasn't hanging in the balance of some fragile aspect to their offense of, oh, they're really reliant on a running back who could get banged up at any moment. Like, it's relying on Joe. It was pretty much just all Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Like, they even weathered the storm to a degree, even losing T. Higgins. So, you know, can they just roll these teams? No, I'm not saying that. But I mean, there's clear wins on the table with obviously the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That right there. Who knows what the Minnesota Vikings are going to look like with J.J. McCarthy by week 3. Week 3 is pretty early on. There's going to be, there was legitimate growing pains for Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels, 2 quarterbacks who had awesome, rookie years. So by week 3, are we saying that J.J. McCarthy, even if he ends up being great with the Minnesota Vikings, that they're just going to get off to a hot start? Like, I'm not so sure about that. They've even last year, when everything was a mess, they still competed with the Baltimore Ravens. That continues to be just some of the most exciting football you could ever watch. Yeah, even with a bad defense, are we saying Drake May and is gonna outduel Joe Burrow? I don't know about that. How about the New York Jets? Justin Fields? No. How about Arizona Cardinals? Arizona Cardinals with Kyler Murray? No. No. Miami Dolphins? Joe Burrow? Nice little warm climate down in Miami. Is Tua even playing? I mean, like, there's wins here. Don't get me wrong. You have tough games. And even games that once upon a time would have been that would have been a little bit easier are harder. Like the Denver Broncos, like the Jacksonville Jaguars, like I almost said the Buffalo Bills. Obviously not the Buffalo Bills because they're always great. Like even the Chicago Bears. So I get that. But even those teams that I think could be significantly better, I do believe Trevor Lawrence is going to be significantly better with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Even if that offense is humming, is that defense set up to be better than what Joe Burrow can bring with the Cincinnati Bengals? Bad O-line or not, I mean, you're going to force me to do this because I know Nick Wright's a little sensitive because the quarterback that he loves did not do well with the pressure. That's not Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL under pressure. His yards, his production under pressure, 1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, 7.9 yards per attempt, was better than many quarterbacks in a clean pocket. Okay? So yeah, that matters. I mean, Joe Burrow's numbers under pressure, especially for like touchdowns and touchdown to interception ratio, was good enough to put him nearly in top 10 of touchdowns in a clean pocket for a quarterback. So like what he was able to do under pressure is just bonkers, just out of this world. So yeah, it's a bummer to continue to have a bad O-line and the magic that they could do if they had a healthy O-line or just a better O-line, excuse me. But he's shown that he can weather that storm, and even Zach Taylor for that matter as well, because of a bunch of that, a portion of that credit also goes to the offensive coach. And that run game was inconsistent, especially in the beginning of the season, and it did get better as the weeks went on. And so you can make the argument that if they can actually get a consistent run game from the jump and maintain that throughout the season, significantly helps them. Gives them better time of possession, less possessions for the offense to just light up the scoreboard. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's not so much that I have confidence in the Cincinnati Bengals because I fundamentally do not believe them as a franchise. It's just that I have such an insane belief in Joe Burrow, and whether or not that's good enough to overcome the deficit of that the Bengals keep putting out there remains to be seen. But right off the surface right now, it's like if I just rip off the easy wins, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, I see easy wins. Wins that I define as going into that game. I think you should win. You should be able to pull this off. This is your game to lose. Not saying that you're guaranteed to win. Not saying that it's easy in the by the definition of the word easy, but it's like you should be better. You should be able to come away with this victory, and that's just a floor. And like I always give the caveat, you're gonna lose some of those easy games, and you're gonna win some of the hard games, or however the balance falls. So I'm seeing some wins here. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Cincinnati Bengals? Are they more likely to hit the ceiling or the floor? 12-5 or 7-10? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.